Okay, so if you're a parent, choosing swim lessons for your little one is a huge decision. I mean, it's about so much more than just learning a new skill, right? It's about their safety, it's about their confidence. So in this explainer, we are going to break down the two main approaches you're going to find: ISR, which stands for Infant Survival Rescue, and traditional lessons. So you can feel really good about the choice you make for your family. You know, when it comes to pools or lakes or really any body of water, there's that one question that's just always sitting right at the front of every parent's mind. It's the one concern that really drives this whole conversation about water safety. And that question is simple. It's, how do you keep your child safe? Now look, nothing, and I mean nothing, replaces adult supervision. But there are some really powerful tools we can add to our safety toolkit. And one of the most effective? You guessed it, formal lessons. And the impact of that decision is, well, it's just staggering. Research actually shows that formal swimming lessons can cut the risk of drowning by 88% for kids between 1 and 4 years old. That is not a small number. It's a massive, massive layer of protection. Okay, let's really dive into this. When you start looking into lessons, you'll pretty quickly find there are two main philosophies out there. And it really boils down to this. Do you want to prioritize intense, short-term survival skills, or do you want to focus on a more long-term, play-based approach to build comfort and a real love for swimming? So let's break that down a bit more. The survival-first lessons, like the ISR program we're going to talk about, are absolutely laser-focused on teaching a child what to do if they ever find themselves in the water alone unexpectedly. The goal is pure self-rescue. Now, on the other side, you've got water acclimation. This whole approach is about creating a positive, happy relationship with the water, building that comfort and joy with songs and games before even getting to basic strokes. And to be specific, Infant Swimming Resource, or ISR, is a program that's been around for a long time, since 1966. Its entire mission, its whole reason for being, is built around this one single goal: to make sure that if a baby or toddler accidentally falls into water, they have the skills to save themselves until help can get there. So, how do these two approaches actually stack up against each other in the real world? We've put together a little side-by-side comparison to make the differences totally crystal clear. The differences are really in the details, aren't they? With ISR, the primary focus is self-rescue, period. Traditional lessons, they're all about water acclimation and learning those basic strokes. ISR is always one-on-one, totally individualized. Traditional lessons, usually in a group. And the schedule, this is a big one. ISR is like a boot camp, short 10-minute lessons every single day for intense reinforcement. Traditional classes are longer, but maybe only once or twice a week. But what does self-rescue actually look like? Well, it's a very specific sequence. First, even the tiniest babies, as young as 6 months, are taught to roll onto their back to get air and just float. That is the absolute foundation. Then, as they get a little older, they learn the swim, float, swim sequence. It's exactly what it sounds like. Swim a little, roll over to breathe, and then flip back over to keep swimming toward the side of the pool. And you know, this potential for really rapid progress is something you hear a lot from parents who've actually tried both methods. As this one parent said, "My 3-year-old has learned more in 2 weeks of ISR than in 2 summers of conventional swimming lessons." Wow, that really highlights the difference in how quickly they can pick up these skills. But here's the thing, regardless of which philosophy you're leaning towards, there are some universal standards of quality you should look for in any swim program. So we've put together a little checklist to help you vet any school you're thinking about. The very first thing you should do before you sign a single piece of paper or pay a dime is so simple. Just go and watch a class, see the instructors in action, get a feel for the environment, and just watch how the kids are responding. It is honestly the best way to get a true sense of the program. Next, you gotta ask about the instructors. Are they certified by a recognized organization? Is their CPR certification up to date? These are totally non-negotiable safety basics. Also, find out if the program actually teaches water safety and survival, not just how to do the strokes. And finally, really look at the class structure. For young kids, you want that student-to-teacher ratio to be low. I mean, so low that the instructor can have every single child within arm's reach. You should also be able to watch the lessons, and the school should have a really clear way of showing you how your child is progressing. So as we wrap things up here, it's really important to frame this whole decision in the right context. Swim lessons, whether they're ISR or traditional, they're not some kind of magic solution. They are one critical layer of protection among several. And this right here is the most important takeaway of all. Let's be absolutely clear. Nothing, No lesson, no certificate, nothing can ever replace vigilant adult supervision. That is, and it always will be, the #1 way to prevent drowning. Ultimately, a great program does way more than just teach the mechanics. Like this parent put it so beautifully, it builds confidence and a really healthy respect for the water. The goal is for a child to understand that they have the skills inside themselves to get to air, not just to panic and look for a wall. Now that is a life-saving mindset. So, as you think about all this, the real question is this one. What's the right next step for your family? Whether it's enrolling in lessons, or maybe checking the fences around your pool, or just having a new conversation about water safety. Which layer of protection are you going to add first?